Hey there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for Just Nick Studio, the cut file store. And the cut file I've chosen to use this time is the Spring Mandalla. I've cut this from white basil cardstock and I've chosen to use the February 22 Hip Kit as my supplies. So I'm just going to go through them, and I've chosen this paper as the background, and it's a Pinkfresh Studio Happy Heart. There's quite a bit of this Pinkfresh in this kit, mixed in with some Hip Kit exclusives. So I've cut the cut file, and it's quite intricate, so I left all the bits on the mat until I was sure whether there's any ones I wanted to use, and I did. So I actually stuck the main body down just in places, and then I stuck the centre flower in, and then I put some little circles in all the little like daisy shapes that run around the edge. So I've cut the tag paper into pieces, and I'm just going to choose some tags that go with my photograph. So the photograph was taken recently of my daughter, my future daughter-in-law, and her friend. And I thought the colours went really well with these papers. So I'm layering a couple of tags either side of this on the diagonal, and I'm just going through the rest of the kit, seeing if there's anything else that I wanted to use. I'm just looking at this alphabet, but it's a little bit big for the word that I wanted to use. And I put an acetate title there for now, but actually it doesn't make the final cut, and you'll see why later on. So I'm just familiarising myself with this kit. I really love the die cut flowers. I'm definitely going to be using some of those, but I'm very conscious that I don't really want to cover up too much of this cut file. It's a really delicate one, it's really pretty, and I would like it to be still noticeable when I've finished. So I'm very conscious of, I'm tucking bits in around these tags, but I don't really want to make the clusters too big. And I think that's, with that in mind, that's why I keep changing my mind and trying different things. I'm looking to put maybe a circle there on that part of that photograph, but that pink one also doesn't make the cut. But I'm just trying things out. That's all part of the game for me. I really enjoy that. I've gone through another ephemera pack there from Pinkfresh and see if there's any other bits apart from the flowers that I would like to use. Now, I don't know whether you've been to the Just Nick cut file store before, Just Nick Studio. I would really recommend it. There's new cut files being added all the time. Lots of lovely shapes, lots of ones that you could use in lots of different ways. Really good, reasonable price as well. So I would really recommend that you check them out. Do cut really well. I've used precision basil cardstock for this one, but I do often cut them from pattern paper as well. So lots of opportunities to make lots of different layouts there. There is a design team. You can follow us on IG, so lots of inspiration as well. Sometimes we do use the same cut files of each other, but obviously in completely different ways. So I would really recommend you check us out on IG too. So I'm just looking at the centres of the flowers in this spring cut file, and I'm deciding I'm actually going to use some of the Pinkfresh enamel dots to actually put centres in the flowers, because as I say, I wanted to keep some of the emphasis still on the cut file. So unfortunately, some of the smaller ones, I think there's only 4 of that colour. So I will bring in some others at another stage. Now you may see a change in camera angle here. That's because actually I didn't get to finish the layout on the day I was making it, and I came in after work and the following day, and I wanted to get this completed. So I do apologise for the change in angle. And I must have been cold because I've got my cardi on as well, considering it's summer here in the UK. Anyway, so I'm actually decided that I'm going to make the 2 clusters and stick them together without sticking them to the layout, if that makes sense. So I'm just distressing the edges, punching the holes, and getting both of the tags stuck together to actually give me the basis for the 2 elements of the page. So instead of faffing about, which is, if you've watched my videos before, is something I've turned into an art form, I'm actually going to start to commit and stick some of these bits down. So I'm adding some foam pads behind some of the bits of ephemera and behind the tags, so that actually I can raise them up from the cut file and give a little bit of dimension, which I prefer. So I brought in a different title for that right hand tag now. It says Together. It's from the ephemera pack from the Pinkfresh Studio Happy Hearts range, so it does coordinate with everything, and I felt that the pink acetate was stood out a little bit too much for my liking. And there's a little die cut like tassel banner there that I've added as well. So I've got this frame sheet as well, which is also Pinkfresh Studio, and I decided I wanted to actually add a bit of frame in there as well, maybe to make that a slightly different shape, that cluster. And I'm just getting everything in position. I've got the bit there I've cut out, but I can't really find anywhere purposeful to put it. So I'm just having a play around. So I'm going to start to think about whether I need to add another tag, another frame to the other set of tags, just to even it out. So I bring those back in and see if there's another square one, and there's a nice pale teal one that would be perfect, and to balance some of the teal that's going on in the left corner. And I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to stick that across the tag. So I'm just using some double-sided tape to actually stretch that frame across. And I quite like the way that works, because there's a little word, it says happy on that frame, and you can just see it if you look carefully. So I have brought in a few more enamel dots out my stash in very complementary colours to the Pinkfresh ones, and I'm going to add them in as I go along. I've changed the one in the centre and I've made it brighter and bigger. So that's the idea that I was having. So I'm going to add some yellow ones in and some other pink ones just to the centres, and I feel that particularly as you can see in this over the head shot, you can actually see them stand out a little bit more. It just picks out the fact that they are actually flowers. And to be honest, if I didn't like it, I could always pick them off, but actually I do. I think it works. So I'm going to carry on with that. Now these little flowers that I'm adding are actually ones that are like the negatives from the actual cut file that I kept hold of, because I never throw anything away, and I think it gives you a nice diagonal line across the page. So I've also cut out some butterflies from the Pinkfresh Studio Beautiful Moments paper from this Happy Hearts range, and I think that also emphasises the diagonal line. So I put 3 in around the centre, slightly different colours just to bring in all the colours of the flowers. And I've just rolled the wings between my fingers just to make them curl a little bit. I've also added a couple either side. Just having another look, see if there's any more I wanted to cut out, see if there's any more small ones, but there isn't. So I'm going to stick with what I've already fussy cut, and then I'm going to look at sticking them down. So the white flowers were stuck down with a bit of glue straight to the layout, but I'm going to add a little bit of foam behind these butterflies just to lift them up off the centre of this cut file. So I really feel that this is nearly there. I don't think it needs much more. The little die cut tab says New Beginning, and that's exactly how I feel about this. So I think it's worked really well. The emphasis is still on the photograph, and these papers are absolutely beautiful. Not just the designs, but actually the thickness and the quality. I'd forgotten I've not used some Pinkfresh for a bit, and it's just reminded me how much I like these ranges. So I'm just going to make sure I've not missed any of the flowers out, and then I'm going to add some centres to the flowers that I've stuck either end. So I'm going to still pick from the same colourway, so I'm going to go with pinks and yellows just so they complement the rest of the layout. I do find them a little bit fiddly, and I do have a bit of trouble getting them in the centres of them, but I think that could be just tiredness, scrapping after work more than anything else. So the wet glue that I'm using is a Nuvo adhesive. Find it really useful. I'm not very good with wet media. I tend to get in a bit of a mess, but actually so far so good, and the bottle hasn't clogged either so far, so I'm quite pleased with that as well. So I'm just adding these last centres in. So as I say, do check out the cut files. There's new ones being added all the time. If you liked this video, you've enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channel as well. I'm getting nearer and nearer to 1,000 subs, and I would love that. But it'll be what it'll be. But thank you so much for watching this video. As you can see, I'm still doing a bit of faffing. There we go. I'm showing you the dimension, and here's the finished layout and some close-ups as well. So I hope to see you again here soon. But for now, bye for now.